Tyreek Hill's all-time legacy. There is this thing and there's this disease in most sports fans, and that disease is called nostalgia. Sports fans, I've realized in my old age and having conversations with so many people all across the world, sports fans refuse to let people become better than the guys that they grew up loving. It's okay, man. And if they get to that point, person has to be so undeniably great that you can't make the argument anymore, right? Like that's the only time that they'll allow somebody from the new era to be better from somebody from the past. And the reason why I'm having this conversation and the reason why we're even talking about this is because Randy Moss, I want to say last week, he was doing an interview with the Miami Herald, and they asked him about Tyreek Hill.
I think it was
Sun Sentinel. And they asked him about Tyreek Hill. And I have the quote right here, just so I butcher it, and I'll be fair to Randy. He said, let me see, hold on. Share. Give me 1 second, guys. Doop.
Randy Moss.
All right, man. Here we go right here. He asks where Moss ranks Hill among the all-time great wide receivers. He's nowhere all-time. Where is he at in today's game? He's probably top 5. I put him top 5. Probably top 5. What?
Well, damn, Randy. What's up? No love between great receivers. What's going on, man?
Probably top 5. What are you talking about?
Wow.
Huh? I put him top 5. We don't care where you put him. He's a permanent top 5. He earned that by dominating. He earned that by having but 2-yard seasons where he had over 1,700 yards in his career. Like this idea, and the only reason why I'm even getting so invested in this conversation is not because of what Randy said, right? I know for a fact Randy Moss has no idea the list of accolades that Tyreek Hill has accomplished up until this point. What drove me crazy was going to the comment sections of various YouTube channels who spoke about it, posts on it, IG posts, social media posts in general. And the lack of knowledge from the wide body of NFL fans is what drove me crazy. I had people saying he ain't better than Mike Evans. I had people saying he ain't better than Steve Smith. I had people saying he's not better than Torrey Holt or Isaac Bruce. Are y'all on crack? What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, y'all don't understand what this man has accomplished. And I know you don't, because there's no way you would say some of the names are better than him. There are people saying Hines Ward was better than Tyreek Hill. What are y'all going on about?
They smoking that good dope, man. They're smoking. Pass it over here. Hines Ward.
I'm not saying this. This is not hyperbole. This is not me jumping out the gym. Tyreek Hill has a top 10 wide receiver resume already. That's not me saying that. That's not me being biased. That's not me being a fan of him and being a fan on a Dolphins podcast. That is just the facts. And I'm going to back those facts up right here. And I bet you people who are watching this, and no disrespect, but there's going to be a lot of people who see this who are going to be like, you crazy. Bet. Don't argue with me. Argue with history. I have history on my side, man. Rod. The list of wide receivers who have more Pro Bowls than Tyreek Hill. Jerry Rice, Larry Fitzgerald. That's 2. He's 3rd all-time in Pro Bowl selections.
That's 1 down.
He has 8. He has 8 in 9 seasons, and he's only started for 8 seasons. His first season, he didn't even start. So he's been a Pro Bowler every single year he's been a starter. He's already 3rd all-time. Since 2016, this is where he ranks in all receivers. 4th in receptions, 4th in yards per game, 3rd in total TDs, 1st in receiving yards, 1st in scrimmage yards. What are y'all talking about? But you want more? I got more for you. All-time accolades. 5 first-team All-Pros, 8 Pro Bowls, 2010s all-decade team, and he's going to make the 2020s all-decade team. He's going to be two different all-decades teams. But you want more? I got you. He has more total all-pros than Randy Moss, the person that said he's nowhere near all-time great.
And a
He
championship.
has and a championship. He has as many all-pros as T.O., A.B., DeAndre Hopkins, and Steve Largent. They all have 5. That's who he has as many as. And he has more first team all pros than DeAndre Hopkins and Steve Largent. And this is who he has more first team all pros than. This is the list. First team all pro, which means you were the best receiver the year that they voted. This is the list of the people. He has more first team all pros than. He has more first team all pros than Marvin Harrison, Larry Fitzgerald, Julio Jones, Tim Brown, Chris Carter, Andre Johnson, Calvin Johnson, Steve Smith, Torrey Holt. I stopped looking up after that point. The list goes deeper than that.
Right.
I didn't need to look anymore. If he is not an all-time great, then he would be the first football player who has what he's accomplished to not be an all-time great. He would be the first of his kind. Because no other football player in NFL history who has what he has, who's accomplished what he's accomplished, is not considered an all-time great. So this idea that because Randy that he's not an all-time great, that's somehow true. Ross just got it wrong. But this goes to the other part of the conversation, which is people love to give great players who used to play football the benefit of doubt on anything. If Randy Moss said shit tastes like steak, people would be like, man, well, actually, I think shit does taste like steak. Randy Moss said it. If Randy Moss said the sky is orange, football fans would say, well, actually, it do kind of look kind of orange right now. You know what I'm saying? It do get orange in it. Like, you guys give great players so much leeway to say nonsense. It's not a coincidence why so many all-time great players make for terrible GMs, terrible head coaches, terrible scouts. Because they don't even be paying attention half the time, bruh. Charles Barkley is famous for not watching basketball, dog. I know Randy Moss has no idea about the list of Tyreek Hill's accomplishments, because if he did, then there was no way he could say that he's not an all-time great. Look what this man has done in 8 seasons. People have had 15, 16-year careers who don't have as many all-pros as he does, who don't have as many Pro Bowls as he does. Like, what kind of conversation are we even attempting to have right now, Rod? How you feel about that, bro?
Herb, when it comes down to these kind of discussions, I think, and it boils down to what goes on in modern society nowadays. It's just that there are times where if a popular figure makes a statement, even if the statement is absurd, ridiculous, or it doesn't even have to go that far, they could just make a statement that's misinformed. And, it is not, and listen, some people might say, well, he played football. How could you say he's misinformed? I mean, just because a guy played a sport doesn't mean that he's still watching it now. Just because, like, a lot of players who play the sport, who's to say that they're actually keeping up with the way players are playing now? Clearly, when Randy Moss made that statement, he did not consider all the things that Tyreek Hill has already accomplished, including winning a title with the Kansas City Chiefs. And look, I guess because Mahomes went and he's won 2 more titles after Tyreek Hill left, maybe people will try to diminish that accomplishment. But when you look at 5 first team All Pros, when you look at 1 second team All Pro, which means he's made 6 All Pro teams, right? And then you consider where his ranks are among receivers of this era, Herbie. It's pretty. I think it's safe to say in this era of football, in every era of football, there are players that you will always remember, right? Like when we go back to the 2000s or like the late 2000s and the early 2010s, we'll always remember Megatron. We'll always remember, like, even if they didn't win a title, every era has players that you will always remember. And Tyreek Hill is going to be one of the receivers who headlines this era, who headlines the mid 2010s to the early 2020s. Like he is going to headline this time, and not necessarily headline, but he's going to be one of the guys that people will look back and go, man, Tyreek Hill, he was incredible. Now, mind you, this is a guy, Herbie, who had an opportunity, if not for an injury-prone quarterback, he had an opportunity to get to get to 2,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like he was aiming for that. Like he was aiming for history. And when you consider the fact that Tyreek Hill, not only does he have the accolades that he has, but he has been good no matter who his quarterback has been, right? He put up numbers with Alex Smith, put up numbers with Patrick Mahomes. He put up numbers with Tua. He actually has the best numbers of his career with Tua. And it just goes to show you the impact that he has had and how terrifying he has been to the league in all the years that he has been here. Now, you can make a case and this is what's always going to hurt him, and this is what hurts a lot of these guys who are at the receiver position, like when you consider an Antonio Brown, for instance. When you develop bad will off the field and you develop a bad reputation, that opens the door for people to say, no matter how good he was, he's a distraction, he's a problem. And that is indeed a legitimate issue, right? It wouldn't surprise me, Herbie, at all if this season coming up, Tyreek Hill missed time due to all the legal issues he has. And he has a lot of crap going on off the field, right? And it's sad to say that. But the things that he has going on off the field, regardless of how they reflect on his character, you take away from all the work he's put on the field, especially when you consider the fact that he's accomplished more than guys who have had entire careers and are already in the Hall of Fame. So it just goes to show you, Herbie, that whenever someone who has a lot of credibility, someone who has a lot of popularity, and listen, Randy Moss was like everybody's favorite receiver growing up. We nicknamed a term after him, right? Like we used to say it all the time when we was just, bro. Oh, dang, you got Moss. Like he created a term. Like that's how deep in the culture Randy Moss is, Herbie. So obviously when he speaks, there will be many people, especially if they're on the fence or if they just don't like Tyreek, they're gonna gravitate towards that opinion. But when we're gonna have these discussions, we all have to do a better job of actually looking at the facts and not putting our feelings or what we think into it, right? And that's just often what happens. Is like people just they say something because they feel a way about it, but is it really right to say something about a person who's accomplished so much, especially when you consider the fact that he has something to have, right? Like he was a central part of a championship team, which is shocking when you consider someone like Randy Moss was not. So it's unfortunate, Herbie. It's unfortunate that like the respect is just not had when it comes to the legends versus the new guys. Like there's always some kind of weird beef between them, you know?
Listen, I get the beef between them, which is why, again, if it was just what Randy said, I would have just chalked it up to a OG being a hater. You know what I'm saying? They just be haters, bro. Like that's just reality of the situation, right? Like they don't like anybody creeping up on their territory. They're gonna think that their era was the best. They're gonna think that they went against the best defenders. They're gonna think that they went the best against opposition, right? That's just how it is.
Right.
It is just the lack of understanding from the fans, right? Like even Dolphin fans don't even know how much this dude has accomplished. Like 4 first team All Pros is insane. Well, one of them is kick returner, so I say first. Talking about wide receiver. Fair. Total is 5. Total, but even then, he is a first team All Pro at a completely different position. Right. How many all time wide receivers are a first team All Pro at kick returner? How many? I think it's just him, right? Like he is a once in a generation football player. It's okay to say that. I seen the same thing happen with Aaron Donald. It took Aaron Donald, put like this, football players, Donald's rookie season, Chris Long said it in training camp. He said, that dude is a Hall of Famer. Sometimes it's just that obvious. Right. But fans will, when guys are saying, the guys who are literally watching go against these players all the time are saying, he's one of the best players I've ever seen. Fans will say, no, he's not. What? Like, what? Like, who the hell are you, bruh? And I know that's kind of productive to what I'm saying against with Randy. The difference is Randy is not field against Tyreek Hill. Y'all think Randy is watching film because he works for ESPN. Randy gets a list of things to talk about, and then he goes home. Y'all think Randy is out here breaking down all 22? For real?
I doubt it.
No, he's not.
I doubt
Randy is fishing. He works on Sundays. He don't give a damn about football until Sunday. That's it. So he really has no idea. There's a reason why Tyreek Hill was voted number one NFL top 100, the best player in the sport by his peers. You can't get that, especially at wide receiver. At wide receiver, got voted the number one player by all his peers because they were like, bro, this dude is unguardable. So I just want this conversation. Like, y'all are trying to put Tyreek Hill in the same conversation with Mike Evans. Stop it. No disrespect to Mike Evans. Mike Evans never been never made an all-pro team. You cannot be considered one
Mike
of the
Evans
true.
never made a pro team? I didn't
Never
even know
made
that.
an all-pro team.
Ooh.
Mike Evans is the consummate top 7 wide receiver, bro. But he's never been the best wide receiver at any point in time in his career. He is a very consistent dude. Consistency is not what we're talking about here. The all-time greats are the guys who are absolutely the best at their position at their era. And think about this. Tyreek Hill has been considered the best at his position 4 times and the deepest wide receiver we've ever had. There are more good receivers now than there have ever been. And he 4 times has been voted better than all of them. Of course he's an all-time great. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. I could go on all day, man.